How's it going? I'm Visionary. This is Visionary Decks, and today we're going to be taking a look at Day 5 of card reveals for the Heart of the Huntress expansion. Let's take a look. Sump Monument, a 3-mana P&Z landmark. This is amazing. Is that built out of mushrooms? It's a statue built out of mushrooms. If your Nexus would take non-poison buff cap damage, your opponent plants 4 poison buff caps in your deck for each damage instead. That's insane. Wait. That's so funny. That's actually hilarious. I love that. Okay, so this is something that you play, and for the rest of the game, you take 0 damage. Instead, you just have a stupid amount of puff caps in your deck. This is 4 for every 1 damage. That's so funny. This comes out in turn 3. So how could you break this? Is there any way to break this? I feel like if you just, like, what if you played this, and then you played Behold the Infinite, right? Which just obliterates your deck and replaces it with 20 new cards. Like, what if you just play this turn 3, and then, like, I don't know, turn 5, turn 6, turn 7, whatever, you play Behold the Infinite, and all the puff caps are gone. You're still at full HP. This card is so funny. That's actually that's hilarious. This is one of my favorite cards in the game, period. This is literally just, you play this, you take 0 damage. This is insane. For 3 mana, you can play this starting turn 3. That means, like, any deck is going to get only 1 attack, maybe 2 attacks in if they're lucky, and then you take 0 damage for the rest of the game. That's it. Like, if you build the deck right, you can absolutely just not take any damage the entire game. This seems kind of broken. It is a lot of puff caps per damage. Like, the average aggro deck would probably deal 9 to 10 damage turn 4, which is 40 puff caps on 1 attack. That's a lot. But I don't know, if you played maybe like a pesky Spectre Printer, so you're constantly creating like non-puff cap cards in your deck, you're breaking the opponent's draws, and then you have this on board. That could be another angle potentially. I feel like, yeah, there's got to be a good deck where you're just like filling your deck with fresh cards that do not have puff caps on them, like Go Hard type of thing. Obviously Go Hard is rotated, but something similar to that. Man, this is so interesting. I actually, this might be like the first deck I build this expansion. I kind of doubt there is going to be a single card that piques my interest more than this one. This one is just hilarious. I want to figure out how to break this card, because it's kind of insane. You just take 0 damage. Like, obviously, the puff caps are going to add up pretty freaking quickly if it's 4 for every 1 damage, but that's nuts. I love this card, man. I love this card. The first epic that truly deserves to be epic. All right, moving on to our next card. 1 mana slow spell from P&Z. Epic Scraptraption. I thought it was Scraptraption. Okay, I was going to say, number 1, this is not epic. Number 2, it is 1 mana. How can it truly be epic? But okay, so it says play, spend all your mana. Summon a Runaway Scraptrap and grow its stats to that amount. And Runaway Scraptrap is, first of all, fantastic card art. But it is a 1 mana 1/1 with Brash. It is a token. So this is essentially just Thermo Beam, but it summons a unit. And it's Brash. And it's a tech. So there is some synergy with this and Heimer decks, I guess. I mean, what is tech? If you play the 1/3 that shares keywords to techs, this could actually be very, very strong in a Heimer deck. This is absolutely a Heimer card. Wow, this is really good. This is insane. It's extremely flexible. You basically just wait for your 1-drop to get like Elusive, Scout, Overwhelm, any like good keywords, and then you spend all your mana on this, summon it, and it gets those keywords. And if you're playing Heimer, you also get like a giant turret in your hand. This is nuts. This is insane, actually. Yeah, I mean, so what I'm thinking immediately is you want to just like cheat a victory with this card as soon as you possibly can. I think what you do is you play I think you play the 3-mana improvise guy that improvises on another unit, maybe a couple other improvise units. You fish for the scout equipment. You pop scout equipment on your 1-drop turret that shares keywords. And because that has scout, when you drop this, it'll now have like scout overwhelm or scout elusive or something like that. I think that's the game plan. Maybe that's just like a random side quest that you don't really need to go on to win the game. But I feel like giving this scout overwhelm would just be nuts. And it's like not that hard to do realistically. If you just play a little improvise, find the equipment, throw it on your 1-drop. This is really funny. I love this. This is great. Fantastic card, honestly. All right, Age of Dragons, a 12-mana Targon card. Wow. This is going to be big. This is going to be a big card, whatever this does. This is like Fuel the Rush big. Like game ending, probably. For the top 9 cards in your deck, draw each dragon and reduce their costs to 0 this round. Then shuffle the rest into your deck. That is pretty big. That is pretty freaking big, especially if one of them happens to be an A-Soul. You just get a 0-mana A-Soul. This is basically free A-Soul level up. The top 9 cards in your deck, that's a lot of cards. If you're playing a Dragons deck, obviously you're playing this in there. You can drop this turn 9, and as long as opponent doesn't deny, you probably just free level up A-Soul and win the game. You might even want to play just like a dedicated ramp deck for this, just to play this faster. Maybe play Acorn. Maybe just like splash Acorn in a purely Targon Dragons deck, just to get this like low cost as soon as possible. You could realistically play this like turn 5. Let's say you hit with Acorn 3 times. Maybe like once on turn 1, then you have 2 Acorns turn 3. This becomes 9 mana. You can play turn 6. One more hit with Acorn, you could play it turn 5. That seems pretty good to me, man. That seems pretty freaking solid. You can also play this with Master Yi. You actually just drop Master Yi turn 3. And every turn end, let's just say this is your like only spell in hand, it gets a free -1. That might be even stronger than Acorn. Maybe. I think this is definitely the type of card you want to play in any dragon deck no matter what. I am really curious just how fast you could get it out in a deck that runs like 3 of Acorn or 3 of Master Yi, rest of the deck dragons. Probably would be pretty solid. Wow. I mean, yeah, this is cool. This is just another like the big game ender card. It's been a while since we've seen like a new one of these. This is cool. This is really cool. I like this card a lot. All right, Star-Crossed Lovers. This looks like a 3-mana Targon card. It's a 2/2. Play, recall an ally, and grant it my stats. Okay. This is the pink region. What is recall doing here in the mountain of Targon? This is purple region. Last I checked. Huh. So okay, this is a hand buff card in Targon. This is new. This is very new. I mean, unless we're about to get more cards like this. What in the world? This is so random. What else would you play this with? Like Winding Light? Winding Light with this card is kind of crazy. If Winding Light doesn't end the game turn 7 and you just have this waiting in hand, drop it again for free. I don't know that you want to wait to play this until turn 8, but I could see this being like maybe okay in a Winding Light deck. This is not bad for a Bard Kale deck. This is kind of okay as well. This has to be a Bard Kale card, right? Oh my gosh, this is a Bard Kale card. This is a 3-mana Revna for Bard Kale. It's like a mini Revna. If this just gets like a few chimes, you recall Kale, buff her, and she probably levels. That's what this is. So the whole point of this card probably is it lets you play Kale early game. Then once this card is big enough, you recall Kale, grant her the stats she needs to level, and then drop her again and end the game. Because she'll have double attack and she'll be gigantic. This seems really good for Bard Kale. Other than that, it definitely intrigues me. Like the fact that it has recall in Targon at all is kind of wild. That's something I thought would never happen, but here we are. I thought that was just going to be like a pure Ionia mechanic. Apparently not. Decent card, honestly. Not too shabby, especially for 3 mana. Like, it's still playable even outside of a Bard deck. It's just decent value. All right, Returno Wrench. 2 mana Bandle City equipment. It is an impact 0/0 equipment. When I'm discarded, equip me to a random unequipped ally. That is pretty cool. That actually is pretty cool. Okay, so this is finally, thank goodness, another like card you want to discard because it gives you a benefit. The fact that it's 0/0 is pretty bad though. It's only just 1 impact, but it's not bad. This actually is the best like discard me to do X card in the game because it keeps coming back to your hand. It really is a returno wrench. It's just going to keep returning. This is really good actually. Like every time the unit that has this equipped to dies, it goes back to hand, boom, you get to play another Get Excited. This is what discard was like really lacking. Basically like Lost Soul, right? The like 8 mana discard unit with Scions package, but better, I think. It's a very similar type of thing. It's just like a card you keep discarding over and over and over again over the course of the game. But this lets you play Bandle City with P&Z and still get like all the value for discarding. I like this a lot, honestly. Super cool card. Really solid. All right, Portal Scholar, a 4 mana 3/4. When I'm summoned, plant a mysterious portal in the top 4 cards of your deck. Okay, so Nora card. It's from Bandle City. When you summon a created ally, grant it impact. That's big. That's really big. I mean, obviously this card is pretty good with portals. I think it's going to be even better with poros. I think this is a poro card. It's got decent stats, so it's going to be like pretty hard to kill. And every single poro just about, if it's from Poro Stories, if it got created by Lonely Poro, it's going to have impact. This is just going to help you like burn down the opponent's Nexus scarily fast, honestly. This is wild. Honestly, I think this is another Sand Soldier card. When you really get down to it, it's pretty good with Poros, it's pretty good with Portals, but Sand Soldiers, though, seems like there's a lot of directions to go with Sand Soldiers, this expansion. This is a Sand Soldier card. When you summon any Sand Soldier, it has impact. That's insane. That is crazy. Thank goodness Aurelia is not still in the game, because Blade Dance with this would be broken as well. You could go either way. You could go Bandle Aeonia or Bandle Shurima. Bandle Aeonia would probably be even more broken. Yeah, this is pretty solid, honestly. Like, actually not a bad 4-drop. Not a bad one at all. All right, Ferocious Fluffs. A 7 mana 6/6 with impact. When I'm summoned, grant other allies that have subtypes +1/+1 and impact. This is almost like a mini Warden of the Tribes. Obviously a lot worse. I guess in a bird deck, this might be okay. If you're playing specifically birds. Yeah, this seems like the kind of card that would be good in a bird deck. It's not grant allies that have other subtypes, thank goodness. So it could just be birds. You could just have a full board of birds. You grant them all +1/+1 in impact. This is pretty good. It's hard to judge how good this card is because this is 7 mana, which is expensive. I don't see this being a bad card. I see this being pretty good in bird decks specifically. This actually seems nice. I like this one. This one's not that bad. But yeah, that's it for today's card reveals. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 6. Peace.